The day I agreed to apologize to the man sleeping with my wife was the day I became dangerous. Guys, another cheater, another unfaithfulness, and another real life story. This is your host, Alistair, and this is your very own channel. We're gonna go ahead, dive into the story today. This seems very sad, but dangerous at the same time because this guy, he had to think of apologizing to a man, and that's the time it led fuel to his heart, to his brain, to get revenge, to become something evil. Let's hear this out.
The day I agreed to apologize to the man sleeping with my wife was the day I became dangerous. Michael Bennett stood in his living room, still wearing his work clothes, staring at the woman he'd loved for 7 years. Jessica sat on their cream-colored sofa, arms crossed, her lips pressed into that thin line he'd learned meant trouble. "You embarrassed him, Michael. You embarrassed me," she said, her voice sharp as broken glass. 3 days ago, Michael had walked into the Iron Peak gym to surprise Jessica with lunch. Instead, he found her pressed against the wall near the equipment room, her personal trainer, Derek's hand on her waist. Their lips locked in a kiss and left no room for innocent explanation. He'd confronted them right there, quietly, calmly, but the damage was done. People saw, people whispered. Now, impossibly, Jessica wanted him to apologize. "You want me to say sorry to Derek?" Michael asked, his voice steady. Instead, his heart hammered against his ribs, like a prisoner trying to escape. "Yes, you humiliated him in front of his clients. He could lose business because of your jealous tantrums." Jessica stood up, smoothing her designer workout clothes. "If you love me, you'll fix this." Michael watched her, really watched her. The woman who once laughed at his terrible jokes, the woman who'd cried happy tears at their wedding. Now she stood before him, defending another man with the same passion she'd once defended their marriage. Something cold and clear settled in his chest. "Okay," he said simply. Jessica blinked. "Okay, I'll apologize to Derek. Set up a meeting. Private. Just him and me." Michael's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "I'll give him something he'll never forget." She studied his face, searching for the anger she expected. Finding only calm, she nodded slowly. "Fine, I'll arrange it." As Jessica left the room, pulling out her phone to text Derek, Michael walked into his study. He opened his laptop and looked at the folder labeled "Financial Records, Jessica Bennett." His apology was already being written, just not with words. 2 years earlier, their love story had been the kind people envied. Michael met Jessica at a charity fundraiser. She wore a red dress that matched her confidence, and when she laughed at his joke about the overpriced wine, he was gone. Their first date lasted 12 hours. Dinner turned into a walk, turned into coffee at midnight, turned into watching the sunrise from his car. "I feel like I've known you forever," she'd whispered that morning, her head on his shoulder. "Then let's make forever official," he'd said 6 months later on one knee. Now, sitting in his study at 2 a.m., Michael replayed those memories like a detective searching for clues he'd missed. When had she changed? When had they changed? His phone buzzed. A text from his accountant friend Brian. "Michael, you need to see this. Call me." Over the next week, Michael discovered the truth hidden in plain sight. Joint account transfers he'd never approved. His business investment money redirected into an account he didn't recognize. Jessica's signature forged on documents. She wasn't just cheating, she was stealing. The gym membership he'd happily paid for. Derek received half of it as training fee. Money that went into the same mysterious account. Text messages recovered from the cloud backups showed the plan clearly. Seduce the trainer, use him as cover, drain Michael's assets, then disappear together. But something had shifted. Derek was asking questions now, getting attached, becoming a liability to Jessica's scheme. Michael closed his laptop and looked at his wedding photos on the desk. The man in the picture believed in love. The man sitting here now understood something darker. Sometimes love wore a mask. He picked up his phone and typed a message to Derek. Jessica says I owe you an apology. You're right, I do. Let's meet Thursday, 7 p.m. at Riverside Cafe, just us, man to man. The reply came instantly. Finally, some respect. I'll be there. Michael allowed himself a small smile. Derek thought he was coming for an apology. He was wrong. The Riverside Cafe sat empty, except for them. Michael had rented the entire space. Derek arrived exactly on time, wearing confidence like cologne. He was younger than Michael, built like the gym advertisement he essentially was, with that easy smile of someone who'd never faced real consequences. Michael, Derek extended his hand. Man, I appreciate this. Take guts. Michael shook it firmly, gesturing to a private table in the back. Coffee? Sure. Derek sat down, leaning back comfortably. Look, what happened between Jessica and me? It just happened, chemistry. No one meant to hurt anyone. I understand chemistry, Michael said, sliding a brown envelope across the table. I also understand mathematics. Derek frowned, opening the envelope. His confident smile flickered like a candle in the wind as he pulled out bank statements, text messages, legal documents. What is this? That's you, Derek. Or rather, that's what Jessica made you. Michael's voice remained calm, almost gentle. Account number ending in 4739. Recognize it? Derek's face paled. That's the account for our future. Jessica and me. She said her husband was controlling, that she needed somewhere safe to transfer my money illegally. Michael pulled out another document. Forge my signature, create a paper trail that makes you an accomplice to fraud. No, no, she wouldn't. Page 7, your signature on the LLC formation documents. You're listed as co-owner of an investment company that exists only to funnel stolen assets. Michael leaned forward. She made you a criminal, Derek, probably planning to disappear and leave you holding the bag. Derek's hand shook as he flipped through the papers. His breathing quickened. But she loves me, she said. What did she say? Michael asked softly. That she loved me, that we'd start over together. Derek looked up, and for the first time, Michael saw past the muscles and charm to the lonely guy underneath. She said you were abusive, that she was scared. Did I seem abusive 3 days ago or just hurt? Derek closed his eyes. Oh God, what have I done? Let me guess the timeline, Michael said, pouring them both fresh coffee. Derek sat frozen, the documents spread before him like evidence at the crime scene. She approached you 4 months ago, hired you specifically, complained about her marriage during sessions, touched your arm a little too long, made you feel like a hero for saving her from her terrible husband. Michael's voice held no anger, only tired understanding. How close am I? Exactly 4 months. Derek's voice cracked. How did you? Because I found her notebook. She plans things, Derek. She always has. Michael pulled out his phone, showing a photo of a handwritten page. See this? Phase 1. Establish trust with trainer. Phase 2. Create financial separation. Phase 3. Transfer assets to secure location. Phase 4. Exit strategy. Derek read the words, his face crumbling. Exit strategy. That's me being left behind, isn't it? Or framed, depending on what's more convenient. Michael showed another document. She's already preparing to claim you manipulated her, that she was vulnerable and you took advantage. There's a police report draft here, never filed, describing how her aggressive trainer wouldn't leave her alone. That's insane. I have texts from her. Proof she Texts can be deleted, Derek. Evidence can disappear, but not if two men compare notes before she expects it. Michael met his eyes. That's why I'm here, not to apologize, to offer you a choice. Derek swallowed hard. What choice? Help me make this right, or let her destroy both our lives. Michael pulls out a recording device. 3 days ago, before I find you at the gym, Jessica called her sister. I recorded it accidentally. My phone was in my pocket on a call. Want to hear what she said about you? He pressed play. Jessica's voice filled the quiet cafe. Derek's so easy to control. Think he's in love. Once the money clears, I claim he stalked me, maybe even hurt me. Michael will look like the forgiving husband, Derek like the dangerous outsider, clean exit. Her sister's laugh echoed, You're terrible, Jess. I'm smart. There's a difference. Derek's face went white, then red, then white again. When he spoke, his voice shook with rage and heartbreak. What do you need from me? The confrontation happened on a Saturday morning in the house Michael and Jessica once called home. She walked into the living room expecting to find her husband alone. Instead, both Michael and Derek stood waiting, a lawyer between them, documents covering the coffee table like accusations made paper. What is this? Jessica's voice remained steady, but her eyes darted between the two men, calculating. This is the apology, Michael said quietly, the one you wanted me to make. I don't understand. Derek spoke, his voice harder than she'd ever heard it. He's apologizing for not protecting me from you sooner. The mask slipped, just for a second. Jessica's face showed something cold and calculating before the tears came. Baby, what did I tell you? You can't believe his lies. I recorded our last conversation, Derek interrupted. The one where you explained exactly how you'd frame me for assault after the money cleared. Want to hear it? Jessica's tears stopped instantly. The lawyer, Miss Patterson, adjusted her glasses. Mrs. Bennet, we have evidence of fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. The district attorney's office has been notified. You have two options: cooperate fully, return all stolen funds, and accept the legal consequences with our recommendation for leniency, or face maximum prosecution for everything we've uncovered. You can't prove anything, but Jessica's voice wavered. Michael finally stood, walking to the window. Derek wore a wire to your meeting yesterday, the one where you told him to stay quiet, that everything would blow over, that I was too stupid to figure things out. He turned to face her. I may have been blind, Jessica, but I was never stupid. The silence stretched like a broken trust. I love you, Michael, she said softly. That was real, whatever you felt or didn't feel. I loved you completely, and you turned that into a weapon. Jessica's composure shattered. You don't understand the pressure, the expectations, being married to someone so content. I wanted more. Then you should have asked for a divorce. Derek's voice cut through their excuses. Not turned me into a criminal, not destroyed him, just left. Mrs. Patterson stood. Mrs. Bennet, I need your decision. 6 months later, Michael sat in a small coffee shop, the kind Jessica would have called beneath her standards. The legal proceedings had just been brutal but fair. Jessica accepted a plea deal, fraud charges, restitution, probation. Derek testified, his conscience requiring the truth despite the embarrassment. The money was recovered. The house was sold. Michael's phone buzzed. A text from Brian. Investment meeting tomorrow. Got someone who wants to hear your turnaround story. Another text, this one from Derek. Thanks for the reference, man. New gym hired me. Fresh start. Michael smiled, typing quick responses, then looked up as someone sat across from him. Is the seat taken? A woman with kind eyes and a warm smile asked. Not anymore, Michael said, and meant it, because the thing about betrayal, it teaches you who you really are, not the person someone wanted you to be, or the fool someone tried to make you, but the person you choose to become when everything falls apart. Michael chose himself, and that, he'd learned, was the best apology he could ever give. The greatest revenge isn't destruction, it's becoming someone who no longer needs it. If this story touched your heart, consider subscribing because healing isn't about forgetting who hurt you, it's about remembering who you are without them.